Hi viewers, welcome to Learn or Live YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about the human circulatory system. It is the system that transports blood to the all other organs, and it is a closed system. Human heart is the main part organ of this system. Today we are going to learn about the structure and all the other functions of the system. This is the structure of the human heart. This is superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, right ventricle, right atrium, left ventricle, in semilunar valves, pulmonary artery, left pulmonary artery, aorta, pulmonary veins are present here. You can observe that there are 4 chambers in the human heart. They are known as right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and the left ventricle. Here there are 2 main arteries connected to the ventricles. Aorta starts from the left ventricle and the pulmonary artery starts from the right ventricle. Also there are valves in between the atria and the ventricle. Bicuspid valve is in between the left atrium and the left ventricle, while the tricuspid valve is in between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Also, the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava open to the right atrium, while the left and right pulmonary veins open to the left atrium. Next, we are going to learn about the arteries, veins and capillaries. The blood vessels that take blood away from the heart are known as arteries, and the blood vessels that take the blood towards the heart are known as veins. During taking blood away from the heart, arteries further divide into arterioles and capillaries. The venules form veins when taking the blood to the heart. Here you can observe that the pulmonary artery, which starts from the heart, transport blood to lungs. Aorta supply blood to the other organs. Also, the veins from the organs above the heart join the superior vena cava, and the veins from the organs below the heart join the inferior vena cava. You can observe this in the previous picture. Next, we are going to learn about the structure of the arteries, veins and capillaries. Here, you can observe that the artery walls are being thick and elastic, but the veins are being less elastic and thin. This is due to the arteries are having a big responsibility of withstanding the high pressure of the blood being directly pumped into right artery, but the veins don't have that much of responsibility. Here you can see that the arteries and veins have been named as a basement membrane, endothelium, and you can learn this. And the capillaries, the waste matter in the blood diffuse into the capillaries, and that's the function of it. Next, the blood is the red fluid that flows along the body. Although blood is in liquid form, only 55% of it is in liquid form. The other 45% is in solid form. So let's learn about the components and functions of blood. The blood is being divided into 2 groups based on the nature as a physical, the solid or liquid form. The corpuscles are the solid form and the plasma is the liquid form. The corpuscles are being divided into 3 as red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. The plasma is being divided as water, things soluble in water, things insoluble in water. When we look at red blood cells, they are known as erythrocytes, and they contain a red pigment called hemoglobin, and it carries oxygen from lungs to the body, and also it gives the blood its red color. Next, white blood cells. White blood cells are known as leukocytes. White blood cells defend our body by destroying pathogens entering the body. They are further categorized into neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes and monocytes. Next, platelets. Platelets. Platelets help to prevent excessive bleeding during injuries. The clotting process is the main function of platelets. But unfortunately, some virus infections cause a rapid decline in the platelet percentage. For example, dengue. Next, plasma. When we look at the function of the plasma, the main function of the plasma is transporting substances dissolved in it. Next, we are going to learn about the blood transfusion. The transfer of blood from one to the another is known as blood transfusion. The person who donates the blood is known as donor, while the person who receives is called as the recipient. However, blood transfusion is not possible between any two individuals. For a transfusion to take place, the compatibility of the blood group and the compatibility of the rhesus factor are more important. Let's learn about them. Compatibility of the blood group. Here you can observe that there are, as you know before, there are 4 blood groups as A, B, AB and O. Here in this chart you can observe that the person who is having blood group A can donate to A and AB, B can donate to B and AB, AB can donate to AB, while the O can donate to all the other blood groups. Here also you can observe that AB can receive blood from all the other groups. So it is known as universal recipient. O can donate to all the blood groups, so it is known as the universal donor. If this we have to blood transfusion should be done in this way, according to this way. Next, compatibility of the rhesus factor. First of all, rhesus factor is a type of protein found in the blood. If it is present, it is Rh plus. If it is minus, it is Rh minus. A person with Rh plus can donate only to Rh plus. Rh minus can donate to both the blood groups. As we learn these facts, next we are going to learn about the extra facts. Blood agglutination. Blood agglutination is a clumping of the transfused blood particles in the body of the recipient. This occurs due to the incompatibility of the blood groups. Commonly, the clotting process is important in the body because it is preventing the excessive bleeding of blood. But this type of agglutination is this type of clotting is different from that one. During the common one, the platelets at the damaged blood cells break down and form a blood clot to stop bleeding. So I think you have been clear in this topic. So let's move to the last topic. The healthy measure to protect your circulatory system. As your circulatory system is one of the main systems in your body, you have to maintain it well. These are the steps to maintain your circulatory system. Maintain a healthy weight according to your BMI, body mass index. Maintain a healthy weight and don't smoke. Exercise a minimum of 30 minutes a day, most days of the week. Nowadays exercising is very rare, but exercise is very important for our various systems in our body. Maintain a healthy, low fat, low cholesterol diet with more fruits, vegetables and whole grains. Avoid trans fats and saturated fats, which are often found in processed foods and fast food. Fast foods are just attractive garbage. There's nothing in it. So please avoid fast foods and processed foods. This can help you to maintain to a healthy circulatory system. And avoid alcohol and maintain a mentally stress-free lifestyle. To this you can meditate or follow yoga, do your yoga exercises, and there are many. By these steps you can help to protect your circulatory system. I think that's you are now clear about this topic, the human circulatory system. If you like this video, please subscribe to Learn or Live YouTube channel. See you all on another video. Thank you.